Okay, here we are with another video about Leela Chess Zero. It's Saturday evening, the Masters third round is on, the Pro Chess League is on, but here I am making a video about Leela Chess Zero, and this time, instead of looking at any games that Leela's played, I wanted to address a question that is on people's minds. Certainly, I've seen a lot of it in the last few days, and it's understandable. And the question is, why is Leela not getting any better? Or is Leela getting any better? Or clearly she stopped getting better. And that's an understandable thing. And I just want to give us an update on what's happened in the last few days and explain why Leela is actually doing completely fine. So first of all, I wanted to mention that a couple of days ago, Agadmator, if that's how you say his name, Agadmator, I don't know how to say it. That guy, really cool chess YouTuber, he did a video playing Leela, which was really cool. He did some knight sack on f7 and taught Leela a lesson in the first effort, but then struggled a bit when Leela was playing at a harder level. And it was a really good video, and he was really encouraging people to join the project, which was really great, and lots of people have because of him. So go and say well done to him and give him your love. Secondly, Chess Network, Jerry also did that. He played a really good game against Leela as well, and that also got lots more attention over to us at Leela Chess Zero. Thank you, Jerry, as well. And I think today kingscrusher has also done the same. He's played against Leela. I haven't actually watched that video yet, but another great chess YouTuber. Thank you so much. That was really the point of why I was doing these YouTube videos. It was to try to get some attention on Leela, so that more people would come and join the project. So lots of extra people have been joining in with the contribution of games. You can see down here active users. 547 users in the last day. That was quite a few less before, or quite a few fewer, I should say, before. In fact, that was up at 700 or so yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Recently, it was about 700 when there were lots and lots of people who seemed to have joined because of those videos that I've mentioned, which was really great. It meant that the games could be made a lot faster. So more games being produced for Leela, so she was fed more, so she could learn faster, theoretically. But if we look at this chart here, then we can see lots and lots of fast progress through these early versions here. Goes to about, I don't know, 45-degree angle through this bit. And then from here on, it looks like, hang on, what's going on? This is flattening out a bit. Is this going to keep on going flat? You know, and if you look at this I think is let me see, does it show me? No, it doesn't. I think this is something like network 83, somewhere around there, which has an ELO rating 4694 in these self-play games, and now on the latest one we're down at 4550. So Leela's been given an extra, I don't know, about 1 million games, but has she actually progressed? Has she just is there no point in carrying on because she's reached her best, and in fact the project's going backwards? That's what you might think from self-play, from looking at this chart, which is understandable, but it's not the case, and I want to tell you why today. Okay, so first of all, let me look at my notes here. So this in this case is, just let's remember what this is. These are the results of the matches that Leela plays against herself. So it's one version of the network against the previous version of the network. And you'll see these red triangles here. These are where one of the proposed new networks has not played as well as it was supposed to, particularly that one. You can see that's way lower than it might have been. So it's not played as well as it should have done, and it's been failed. So that means that network isn't going to be used for any more games. We're going to just start that round again. We're going to feed it the same games and see if it can become a bit better. So you can see all these ones that have failed, some really not very good ones, along the way, but most of them pretty much along the line of here. And if we look over to the matches view over here, you'll see those failed ones are in red here. Quite a few failed ones over here. Look, that one, I think that was a really bad one. 444 points of elo behind the other ones. And it was because of these really bad nets that some of the developers found a bug that was going on, and they managed to fix it, and everything went well again. So that's why they had the gate in place. It's called a gate. So it's stopping any network that scored minus 50 elo against the previous one in these little matches that they have, which are supposed to be about 400 games, but normally actually more like 800 games because of the way the system works. So going back to the main page, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the self-play elo rating. Now, the problem is that, well, actually there are a few problems. I want to first jump over to the Alpha Zero paper. So this here is or one of the papers related to Alpha Zero when it was playing chess and made this great breakthrough back in December, or at least the paper came out in December. And if you go down to page 4, then you see these little charts here, and it shows you in kind of thousands of steps, which is each of these networks, how many thousands of those chess networks Alpha Zero progressed in. You've got the green line over here. That's the flat elo rating of Stockfish, and it's Alpha Zero playing against it and measuring Alpha Zero's quality against it. Now, there are two things to point out about this. Number one is that at around about 30 or 40 steps, there is this flatter section of Alpha Zero where Alpha Zero isn't learning very fast, and then at around 100,000 steps, then it starts jumping up again before leveling out and going a lot flatter for a long time. So there is this period, it seems, when doing self-learning of chess, that the whole kind of algorithm levels out and doesn't improve a huge amount until around this mark it gets a lot better again. If you look at comparisons in shogi and go, shogi there was a little bit of leveling off and then a bit there. Again, there's a similar kind of thing in go, but there's a really quite pronounced one around 40 to 100,000 steps for Alpha Zero. Now, if you look at it, I think I've done the sums right. I think this actually matches that a little bit. 100,000 steps on the Alpha Zero thing out of 700,000. So that's kind of so 100 to 700. So that's a seventh of the way through the project is where it starts jumping up again. 44 divided by 7 is about, well, it's about 6 and a bit million. So about 6 and a bit million games, then Alpha Zero had a big jump in elo. And you can see we're just at 3 million, okay? So it's quite possible that we're just experiencing this same kind of thing that happened to Alpha Zero, and there's just a period where it gets a bit flatter and then it jumps up again. That's one possibility. It's not the most important possibility, but it's just one possibility to think about. It's quite possible that in these early games, it's learning against random moves. It kind of can take advantage of some random moves, but then it flattens out while it's not kind of tactically sharp, which is what we're seeing from Leela at the moment. Leela's playing lovely positional chess, but maybe not getting much better at tactics. And then when it realizes how important tactics are, and it starts kind of evaluating the position a bit more based on, are there these tactics around, and that's where it jumps again. That's my guess at what might be going on in general. But the other really important thing to point out about this is that here we've got Alpha Zero against Stockfish. So Stockfish is a relatively objective player of chess. It's not perfect, but it's the strongest we have, or this was Stockfish 8, it was the strongest at the time. Now we've got Stockfish 9, which is stronger, but it's playing very, very good chess consistently. It's not making really terrible moves ever. it can be really consistent, and it's a good thing to measure it against. However, this is self-play, remember. This is Leela playing other versions of Leela. So it's not an objective kind of way of understanding how strong Leela is. And this can be proven a little bit by playing other kinds of matchups between Leela and Stockfish, and Leela and other engines, and Leela and previous versions of Leela at different time controls. And some people in the community have been doing that, testing, this one up here, this, which is the strongest network so far, and some of these blue dots from further on, which may not have as high elo, but just seeing if they are actually any better than this one here when playing against other engines or any other time controls. So if you just believe this graph, yes, there's been a bit of a decrease. But here's one test that's been done by a user called a Pleasant Illusion on Discord chat, and they played lots of fast time control games between Leela 0, 83, 99, 100, 102, and 101. Played lots and lots of games against them, and this is the rating kind of that they each got. And you can see 83, which should have the highest rating according to this graph here, this one here. It should be the highest, but actually it does the worst out of that in this tournament that this person set up. So this is just to say, look, really, don't trust the ups and downs, every last little up and down of these networks. Sure, we want the page to be going up consistently. We want it to jump up really fast. It won't always do that. Okay, won't always do that, but that doesn't mean it's getting weaker. It can just mean that it's learning something else. It could be that it's spotting a new pattern. It's spotting some kind of tactical or strategic element that is there in a chess position, and it goes, oh look, that really works. And so then in the next network, it tries it out lots, and it goes, oh yeah, look, I'm going to try this kind of strategical idea, and it realizes that it's just overemphasizing how important the idea of fianchettoing a bishop, or having all your pawns on the opposite color to your bishop, or putting a knight in the center or something. It may just be that it's overemphasizing that new element that it's picked up from some of the games, and that's the whole deal. There are all kinds of other reasons. It could be so it could be that. It could be related to the openings. It could be that there are certain tactical or strategical things that are coming out of the opening that Leela keeps on playing at the moment, which is a 4 knights variation. And it could be just that in that particular instance, then it's really useful to have, I don't know, a rook on e6, which I've seen in some of the games where the e-file gets opened up and rook comes into e6. And it's just decided that's a great idea. And it might be a really great idea in this particular variation, but not in every variation. And it could be just those kinds of things where you've got the same kind of element, because at the moment there are lots of the same openings. The same opening, same elements coming up in those, and it's just kind of thinking that's a bit more important. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen soon that might remedy that. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so if you ban those nets, if you ban these ones that look a bit weaker, then it's possible that it'll just have to keep on trying to relearn this new strategic element, and it'll keep on doing the same thing. It'll keep on overemphasizing it until it finally just balances it out at exactly the right amount of kind of importance. And you could end up with lots and lots of red triangles, lots and lots of failed nets, because it just needs to learn this thing, pick it up, and then realise that it's not quite as important as it thought it was. That's my theory. Someone who knows more about them might be able to tell me otherwise. But I think that might be one element that's going on here. Now, I've kind of emphasised something already. You'll see these bigger blue drops here. And if you go back to the matches page, you'll see that in recent nets, look at this one, minus 108 failed. So that was determined back yesterday evening, I guess, most people's time. not most people's time, probably afternoon or morning if you're in Western Europe or Australia. Never mind. Australia? What am I talking about? America is what I was trying to say. Anyway, that got minus 108, but was failed. So you see, pass, false. So that was failed. Candidate ID 97 failed. But then the most recent one had an even worse ELO of minus 111.97, and that has passed. And that is because the developers have decided we just need to let this play out a bit more. We need to allow a few more ups and downs. It was really useful having the ups and downs further back here when we constantly got these kinds of issues, and we discovered that that was because of a bug. But now we just need to let it happen. We need to let it play it out, and we'll get some more ups and downs. But we trust that it will still be learning in the meantime. And that is what Alpha Zero did. That's what Alpha Zero did. It didn't didn't kind of fail worse networks. It just let it keep on learning, keep on getting better as a whole, but with ups and downs. This graph here, if you think, not this graph here, this graph here is very smoothed out. Look, you're looking at thousands of steps. That's 100,000. There are 100,000 data points in here. So you're seeing a smooth line, but there's probably a lot of up and down within that. Okay, so that's one of the things. I just want to point out a couple more things that are going on. There's this little notice at the top here saying we have increased to V1600 from V800 due to the number of games. The game rate will be half now. You don't need to update your client if you're running these games. You can keep on running it. Please do, because it's really useful. And that is one reason why the game rate has slowed down slightly. So what this actually means is the engine for these test games is playing double the amount of thinking per move. So instead of looking at 800 playouts, I think playouts and V is the same thing. I'm not quite sure on what that means. But basically, instead of looking at 800 situations, it's looking at 1,600 per move, which means the moves are twice as slow on everyone's computer, which means as a whole you get twice as few games, unless for some reason the extra quality means that the games go a little bit shorter or longer, and that will affect it as well. So because we've got lots more users, lots more people, 537 doing these games, we've been able to increase the quality of the games, which hopefully will mean that Leela gets a bit cleverer, a bit faster. The other thing to say is that as well as this gating as being turned off, so these worse nets have been passed, as well as that, and as well as this getting a bit slower but higher quality, the other thing that is being talked about and in a new version of the client I think will come out sometime soon is that they're going to force Leela in these training games to play a few different openings. It may just be that in all of these it's playing the same opening, and like I said, it's learning some particular things from that opening which are useful there, but aren't useful in general chess. So when we look at these matches here, let's just have a look through here. Look at this game here. I said we weren't going to do any analysis. Oh look, here we go already. We've got a Sicilian defence here. I think that's just a coincidence. We've got and it's not hyper-accelerated. You used to like to play the hyper-accelerated variation. Okay, so we've got one of those there. Let's have a look at another game with white. Got the Sicilian defence again. I'm out of touch. Leela is now playing the Sicilian defence, the open Sicilian. Wonderful. I'm sure those games are actually a lot more interesting than some of the games I've looked at already. Here's one from super user Cheetah, who keeps on pumping out these games. Yeah, again, Sicilian. But basically, what they're going to do is force some more variation into these. The exact method they use, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to just force it to play some suboptimal moves or if it's going to have an opening book. I prefer that it doesn't have an opening book because that seems to kind of go against the whole idea of zero, because you're training it based on some human knowledge about openings, which is that playing the Grob is not as good as playing the Roy Lopez or something. So I think that that's the way forward. A bit more randomness, learn a bit by itself, but force these match match games at least to hang on, I've just realised, if it's only the matched games that are getting opening books, that's not such a big deal because you're testing its general chess strength. You're not teaching it the opening in any way. You're not affecting how Leela plays in the future. You're just forcing her to play that way right now. Okay, well, I hope that's helped you realise that this graph is not the whole story. It's not the whole big deal. The other thing to say, one final thing, is that there are more bug fixes and more things that developers can do that are going to improve the skill of Leela. You can add more layers, make the network bigger, more precise, more able to hold lots of data about the position that might help it and analyse the position better. The problem with that is that you don't want to do it too early in case there are bugs, and it takes a lot of extra calculation, both to make the games in the first place, to run it afterwards. There are lots of reasons why it does slow things down, so it's kind of a later thing to try and do in the whole process. But there are also some other games. There's I think there's still this board flip issue where the engine might not be using all of its ability, all of its space quite as optimally as it can, because it keeps on flipping the board upside down in order to work out what's going on. So it's not actually playing the same as black as it does with white pieces, because it's not realizing that the game is the same. Something like that. Anyway, it's using some of its space to do this board flipping stuff, and that may be reducing its strength. So bugs like that, bigger network, more playouts. There are lots of things we can do to make Leela stronger, but she's already pretty strong. And although this graph is going down, it's not actually representative of her play overall in all kinds of positions. And hopefully that will become really clear as these changes come in the next few days. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that's been helpful. If you're discouraged about joining in with the project, if you think it's not going anywhere, please change your mind, get your computer going, run the whole stuff, run the client, add some games, be on this list here. I've slipped down this list a fair bit because my computer's not been on today because I've been out doing other things, but I will get it on overnight and pumping out the games again very slowly, but I'm doing my bit, and I hope you can too. Hope this has been useful. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to look at. People have asked for an explanation of how to run Leela on your computer on something like Arena or Skid or other things like that. You can go here on the wiki, and you go to running Leela chess in a chess GUI, and this looks a bit scary, but here you get setup guides for all kinds of GUIs. Tells you exactly how to do it, and it can, it's not too hard. The reason I haven't done a video on it is because here I'm on a Mac, and it's a little bit harder to get everything running on a Mac. But I have on my laptop got this running. I've just followed this arena guide here. It's not too hard to do. It's not too hard to do. Just follow this guide. But hopefully someone else will make a video soon. And it also has Cute Chess, Skid versus PC, Lucas Chess. There are a few things sometimes you have to run around because of particular things that go on with those GUIs, but you can do that. It is doable. I hope that's been helpful. Again, I don't care. Don't even bother liking it. I really don't care. But tell me if you want more videos, and tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And remember, life is a roller coaster. You've just got to ride it. This project is a roller coaster. Leela's self-play is a roller coaster. It'll go up and down, but it's going up as a whole. Look, couldn't play chess a month ago, and now I can play chess really well, better than me, better than lots of other people, better than most people, 99% of the people in the world. Well, 99% of people who play chess, it's better. She's better already. She's getting better. Joy.